Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to 2025. This is Rabbi Katzavis from Beit Tikkun. This is a transition from 2024 to 2025 to a new month of January in the Gregorian calendar and to the new month of Tevet in the Hebrew calendar. And just going to say a word or two about that. Tevet is a month in which we confront and deal with anger and our relationship with anger. So I'm sure we all have a lot of feelings about anger and about what's happening in the world that make us angry. And sometimes we use our anger in productive ways, and sometimes we suppress our anger and it comes out in unproductive ways, either aggressive or passive. So I'm just going to invite us this month to look at our anger and think about how we engage with our anger, both on an individual level and in terms of the world. And there's this great line that's translated by David Wolfblank in the Saturday Morning Prayer Book, and it says, "Who knows how to turn anger's strength to furthering life's intentions?" So I think about that a lot when I'm noticing anger arising or feeling angry and asking myself, it's a strength. Anger is telling us something in the world, in our lives, is not working for us. We have a yearning for a different experience, a different relationship, maybe a different world, and we're angry that it's not there. So I just invite you to reflect upon the ways in which you can work to transform anger strength into furthering life's intentions. So this Saturday, January 4th, we will be doing morning prayers, and then we'll be doing our Torah study for parsha Vayigash. And this week continues with the saga of Joseph and his brothers. Last week we read that Joseph hid his divination cup in Benjamin's sack, and then he had Benjamin arrested, threatening to make him a slave. This week Judah steps up and begs Joseph to let Benjamin go free and take Judah in his place. Judah's pleas pierce Joseph's heart, and he exposes himself, who he is, to his brothers. Joseph sends the brothers back to Jacob, his father, and their families to bring all of them and their belongings to Egypt to settle. Meanwhile, the famine in Egypt continues, and the people are going hungry. During the years of abundance, Joseph gathered all of the reserved grain from the people, and during the famine, he required them to buy back their grain. When they run out of money and can no longer afford to purchase the grain, they are required to sell their land and themselves as servants to get food for themselves and their families. In other words, Joseph has manufactured the situation such that the Egypts become indentured servants to Pharaoh. This sets the stage for the enslavement of Joseph's descendants generations later. The other thing Joseph does in this parsha is he moves people around. He disrupts their communities and where they've lived, presumably for many generations, and redisperses them, if you will, moves them around Egypt. And as we watch the ongoing manufactured famine and horror, Dodie, give me a minute, baby. Hang on, sit down. Along with the genocide, I cannot help but wonder how this horror today will impact future generations. And I'm also reflecting on the ways in which people are being forced to relocate again and again, both in Gaza and the ways in which people are being forced to flee their homes, their lands in the West Bank due to settler and Israeli occupation forces actions. So the questions that we'll explore in our Torah studies this week is, what can we learn from our Torah to help us speak truth to power and challenge injustice, so we can shift from imposing and causing more harm and trauma to beginning the long, hard journey of tikkun, healing, repair, and reparations. And that to me is a great thing to think about also as we move to a new year and a new month. What kind of movements and shifts are needed to truly begin having a year and a month that reflects our yearnings, that embodies our yearnings, that moves us closer and closer to a world of love, kindness, generosity, and care. So happy secular New Year, happy Rosh Chodesh, new month. And we have Torah study this Saturday, January 4th. All the information to register for that is below. So please sign up and join us. We'd love to see you both in person or online on Zoom. Shabbat Shalom.